Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we analyze MicroStrategy stock. None of the content is financial advice. This is the price action of MicroStrategy and its stock MSTR since they started buying Bitcoin and keeping that Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Now they have about 70 billion worth of Bitcoin, currently hold about 630 Bitcoins or so. This is their website, strategy.com. The MNAV, which is the multiple of Bitcoin net asset value calculated by dividing the enterprise value, which is this 110 billion number, by this 70 billion number. That means out of their 110 billion, about 70 billion comes from Bitcoin. As this number, as a proportion, the Bitcoin net asset value as a proportion of the total enterprise value comes closer to that the total enterprise value, the MNAV diminishes. Right now, the MNAV is at around 1.57. That means of the 110 billion enterprise value, about 70 billion comes from Bitcoin, and there is a 57% increment on that Bitcoin net asset value to get to that enterprise value. So if you multiply this 1.57 by 70 billion or so, you get that 110 billion number. You can verify this on Wolfram Alpha. This is 70. So this is this 70,505 number. Multiply that with 1.57. You get the idea. So that the number, if after the result of that multiplication, the number is 110 billion or so. That's the enterprise value. If let's say the MNAV approaches closer and closer to that 1.5 level, that's when MicroStrategy stock becomes more and more undervalued with respect to its Bitcoin holding. Again, this is just a statement only in terms of the bull market for Bitcoin. Again, in the bear market, there have been many instances where the price was, or the MNAV was lower than 1. That means they held more Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but their enterprise value was lower than the Bitcoin that they held on the balance sheet. Right now, if you look at the ascending channel, both on the support side and on the resistance side, you can see that the prices are coming close to the right now at around $335. Again, yesterday there was a news related to MSTR not being included in the S&P 500. So again, in terms of the current price action as it stands, it's coming close towards the edge of the support. Again, this support has held since December 2022. That is since the bear market kind of ended for Bitcoin, where Bitcoin formed its low in December 2022. Now this ascended support line ranges from 312 to about $403. If we get one more pump, as we got several iterations where the prices kind of rose in the parabolic phases, the range, the lower end of the range, one could, as it's drawn right now, again we can be slightly more conservative by making it like this. The lower end of the price in a mania phase per this channel is again this red channel over here is ranging between $900 to about $1,500 for MSTR. Again, higher likelihood that the bottom of the channel is scraped than the top of the channel, again as the bull market comes to an end. Coming back to the regression based color code, this is the price color coded with respect to the regression based fair value since they started buying Bitcoin on their balance sheet. That is in August 2020. You can check their buys on this website under the purchases. This is again as August 10th of August 2020. They bought 20,000 or so Bitcoin as of and the latest purchase as of is updated over here as of September 2nd. That's when they updated the website for the last time with their last purchase as of 2nd of September 2025. So again, and coming back to that number, August 10, 2020, that's when again similar time period we looked at the price action since August 10, 2020, when the price was back then $12. Now it's several multiples of that level, and again you can see in the depths of the bear market the price action did visit a similar level in December 2022, and at that time, in December 2022, let's check over here, they had purchased about again they don't have a cumulative number, I think. Over here these are just the purchases, but if you add them cumulatively, this column is cumulative purchase again over here. My apologies. In December 2022, they had about 130 Bitcoin, 130,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Yet their price was essentially the same as it was before. The stock price of MSTR was essentially same before they had any Bitcoin on their balance sheet in August 2020. That is at around $12 or so. And again in December 2022, with 100,000, little over 100,000, 130,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet, the price of MSTR remained the same. Again, this chart does account for that stock split. So again, it's comparing apples to apples than apples to oranges in that scenario. Again, this model, if we look for any major insights from this model, is this is price color coded with respect to the regression based risk levels. Whenever the risk levels for this models are less than 20%, buying MSTR at those risk levels have been, historically speaking, a great time or great entry point, even as it relates to the March to April 2025 lows, August 2024, September 2024 lows. Currently, the regression based fair value has a downward slope, currently coming at around 300, roughly speaking, $290. But what remains to be key is this 2 standard deviation residual drawn from the fair value, the dotted red line, per the regression based analysis. Again, if the prices were to hit the $422 level and stay meaningfully above this $422 level, the slope of the regression function could have an upward swing or an upward bias in that regimen. But again, as 2025 comes to a close, and if 2026 is similar to how it was in 2022, the slope of this 2 standard deviation regression overvaluation would have a downward slope as bear market commences. What is interesting to see is in 2021 also, even though Bitcoin peaked in November, MicroStrategy peaked in February. So the peak for MicroStrategy came well in advance, although it did tag the dotted red line back again in November 2021 when Bitcoin made its own market cycle high. The peak was significantly lower for MicroStrategy in terms of the dollar values, almost from $120 to now in November at around less than $90. So if similar story were to play out in 2025, where the major peak occurred in November 2024, and then the secondary peak a year from that point, slightly lower than that $470 could also be in card. So just wanted to highlight that. Coming to the machine learning based price forecast, if we were looking at the price in terms of the price forecast in this pink line as it relates to MicroStrategy buying Bitcoin and keeping those Bitcoin on the balance sheet as a weekly average price since that point in time, if we were to extrapolate using machine learning based price analysis on seasonal ARIMA, LSTM and XGBoost model, and use confidence level to identify what could be a downside and upside, using those statistical measures, it says that the base case scenario, if there is a continuation of the bull run in the next 3 to 4 months, price of MSTR in that environment could range between, again at this for this week at around $362, towards end of October at around $466, and towards end of December, again week by week analysis over here. And again also available in tabular format in below, week by week towards the end of December 2025 at around $500 or so, or $530 or so, as it relates to 28th December 2025. If there is a euphoria phase though, the price ceiling could be much higher per this analysis, between $450 to about $1,800 towards the end of December. That requires a significant bullish outlook for it to pan out. The base case again available on this column over here, as it relates to even if you want to include January 2025, it looks only 6 months into the future using historical data. Price ceiling at around $623 at a base case level. The bull case again, although this chart looks in 6 months in future, again that kind of euphoria only lasts again, for example, from here end of January 2024 till March, less than 3 months from September 2024 till end of November 2024, again 2 to 3 months. So again, if you were to take this with a grain of salt, only 2 to 3 months is more realistic, historically speaking. From, let's say, from September, October and early November we can check, and in that environment the price consolidates or has a peak at around $1,100 or so. So if there is a sustained euphoria for 2 to 3 months, that's how price could, per this model, go beyond $1,000 level in this bull run. Over multiple cycles though, as it relates to the compound annual growth rate based model, this model assumes that Bitcoin grows, let's say, around 30-40% year over year, and MicroStrategy and its MSTR grows 45% in the non-bear market years year over year, and declines 50% every once in a 4 year in the bear market year. And this simulation helps identify, again, most of the compound annual growth rate based model for crypto miss out. Again, you can check out them. They only say that prices could, in that CAGR based model, could only go up. But as we know that cryptos are very cyclical in nature, and there are drawdown years where the base kind of shifts 40-50% if there is a correction, a volatile or a violent correction to the downside. That kind of model, per this analysis, again the 2025 could close in that bull case for MicroStrategy somewhere close to $750, and then again a 50% downturn in 2026 to the current prices at around 380, 390, slightly more higher than the current prices. And from that base, a 45% year over year growth recovery takes price to about $1,100 to $1,200 in 2029, more sustainably in 2033. Again, this is a tuned out model, again trying to tune out the noise and get the directionality and what could be like a longer term average price for MicroStrategy as it relates to compound annual base growth swings. In 2033 at around $1,800. Again, this is not consider any stock splits. So again, this model says that with the current setup, the price in 2037 could be at around $2,700, and in 2040, one MSTR could be at around $2,900 if the trajectory follows. In this environment, again, the number of MSTR stock needed to be a millionaire, an MSTR millionaire for this cycle, is at around 1,200. If the price goes to that 750 target in 2029, 850 MSTR shares makes one a millionaire. In 2030, little over 550. In 2037, little over 360, and in 2040, 300 and less than 350 shares of MicroStrategy makes one MSTR millionaire. Per this model, this is the compound annual growth rate based bull case for MicroStrategy as it relates to the next 15 years, 14-15 years. We make videos related to those strategy related CAGR based model every once in a while. So if you want to stick around to check these kind of videos, please give a like and subscribe. And by the way, all of the chart that you see over here related to MicroStrategy and also Bitcoin and other cryptos are available for free. The link is on the bottom of your screen, cryptoweeklies.com. Hope you enjoyed the content. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.